Hello everybody and welcome to Midnite Spookshow. If this is your first time here, my name is Jody and I do videos related to Halloween and the paranormal. If you're here, you're obviously interested in the paranormal. April from April After Dark reached out to me and we decided that we wanted to do a collab video together based on the paranormal equipment that we have and use whenever we are on paranormal investigations. The thing that I loved about this is that April has things that are different than what I have. So I thought it was really neat that we could both get together and show what we use. If you want to see what she's using, I will put her channel link down below. Please go check her channel out. She is awesome. She makes all different types of paranormal videos. And she's also into horror and Halloween, and she's just an awesome girl. So I'm so glad that I was able to meet her and get together with her and do a collaboration. Although we might have some equipment that's the same, I think everybody kind of like puts their own little kick or twist on it. So let's get started. So the very first thing that I have purchased to start getting into the paranormal were EVP recorders, and we have these in every investigation that we go on. Most of the time I can just throw this in my purse and take it with me anywhere, so if I decide to stop at a cemetery on my way home from somewhere or just anywhere really in general, I will always have my recorder on with me. And then you could just load the files straight to your computer. I would have to say that one of my favorite pieces of paranormal equipment are recorders. Because you know, whenever you're in certain situations, if it's just you by yourself, then you have proof that whatever, if anything comes up, that it's definitely not you. So I find the answers on some of these to be kind of creepy, especially whenever you get direct responses to what you're asking. So yeah, this is one tool that I will value forever. There's a paranormal investigation that we went on to in West Virginia. You may have heard of it. It's the Lake Shawnee Amusement Park. It's been abandoned for quite some time now, and I'd have to say that using these was the best tool that we had all night. We got phenomenal results and really good, clear Class A EVPs. So I always bring one of these with me. So I also wanted to mention that if you do not have a recorder of your own, there's a recording section on your phone, which can also be used. Of course, every phone is different, but mine's in Tools on mine, and you just go to the voice recorder and you could just start recording from there. So you would just hit this little record button and you'll see that it starts recording, and then you can hit the stop button here and it will stop, and then you can play it back and listen. I have quite a few recordings in here already that I need to go. So the next piece of equipment that I'm going to show you might be kind of an obvious one if you are investigating outside at all, or even indoors where it's completely dark out. You obviously need to have flashlights. We just got these whenever we went to Gettysburg and they worked out awesome. They are a really highly bright LED light, and it allows you to focus in on one specific area or just, you know, scan over one larger area. And the range on it is awesome. It reaches really far. So if you hear something, you know, in the woods moving around, you could just point it straight in that direction and obviously see what's going on. Plus, for safety reasons. We do have one of these flashlights though that have the turning base. So if you've done paranormal investigations, then you may have seen that some people or spirits will try to communicate with you via the flashlight. So they'll either turn it on or turn it off by turning the tip of the flashlight. We've also had some really good results with this whenever we did an investigation in our room in Gettysburg, and just a few other places we've had really good results. And I know if you've watched any paranormal shows, I'm sure you've seen this method be used, especially when just answering yes or no questions. So we use these frequently, and we try to bring more with us every time that we go, so there's more things for the spirit to manipulate. So something that I also like to use is a digital thermometer. It has a trigger on it that would release a little laser, so you can get specific temperatures depending on where you are pointing it. I like to use these because if somebody would ever experience a cold spot, you can measure the temperature of their body or the cold spot. And then I also like to do a sweep of the room before I start, or around the area before I start, just to make sure that there aren't any drafts coming in that could cause a cold breeze. And if you would feel heat or anything like that, it obviously works the same way. So these are really good to use. So one of my favorite pieces of equipment, I would say, you know, top two, is the SB7 Spirit Box. It's a little noisy, but it works awesome in order to get results. Basically what happens is you start scanning through channels, whether they be on FM or AM radio, and it sweeps through them so quickly that voices will start to come through. And the spirit will be able to use these voices to make words or sentences. And I know some people may be skeptical about spirit boxes because they feel like it might just be words or sentences that are coming up from a radio station or a song that's being played, but whenever you're getting answers to questions that you ask directly, I think it's pretty neat, and it's hard to say that that wasn't something, at least. So I'll just give you a little example of how this works. So you can sweep either forward or backward with the PSB7. We like to go forward, and if you just press it and hold it down, it will start sweeping. So by itself, that's how loud the spirit box is. So you can tell the big difference that it makes having the speaker on. But you can see it is scanning through the channels. And then if anything was to come up, it would just make voices using these. Sometimes that might be really fast, so you can even slow it down. This is at, so that's the spirit box. I have gotten some amazing results using the spirit box. The one spirit box that I use is actually an app on my phone, and I learned about this from Paranormal Captivity's channel, and it's called the Sono X10 Spirit Box. And I'll kind of give you a little example. It works just like a spirit box does. I used this whenever we were in Gettysburg, and I had phenomenal results. I tried to record them, and I'm still going through that evidence, so it's going to be a while. We have so much because we pretty much investigated the whole time we were there. But I will give you a little example of how this works. So here's the app. You can change the speed, I think, in there's 3 different speeds that you can pick from. And I'll just show you here. We push the button here, and it starts. You can see it scanning through all of the channels. And it works just like a regular spirit box. This one is legit. I have gotten direct responses to questions that I've asked that are just unbelievable. So I really enjoy it. I do plan on still using this alongside our regular spirit box, but we'll just see if anybody wants to say hi. So if there's anybody here, can you say hi? Can you say hello? That might be too fast. Let's... So if there's anybody here, can you say hello? Hi. Could you tell me your name? Hi. There's a couple different eyes. And I'm just going to shut this off. Sometimes with these and also the EVP recorders, you have to wait a little while. Like, you can't just go rapid fire asking questions. They need some time to, you know, answer back. So you might ask a question and then you might get a response to your question, you know, 3 minutes later. So it depends. I like to record my sessions, that way I can go back and listen, because some of the things you aren't going to be able to hear right away. So some of them you can, some of them it's odd after you go by and you're like, oh, I didn't even recognize that was happening at the time. But that's also my other favorite thing to use. So something else that I like to use a lot is an EMF detector. Ours is a little bit different. We just got it from Ghost Stop, but basically what it does is it will scan the area for any electromagnetic fields. All right, I'm weird. So it will scan to see if there's anything in the area that is giving off an electromagnetic field. And if that's the case, typically you'll find like electronic sources, so your camera, a light source. If you're outside, sometimes it's electrical or telephone lines, and they can even be underground also. But the way that the way that we use it with paranormal instances is a spirit can manipulate the energy around you. So I feel like sometimes we've gotten some really great results whenever they come a little bit closer to the EMF detector. It will make the lights go crazy on it. So if they're really close, sometimes we'll ask them, you know, to light up all the lights, or, you know, just make it go to the next level, something like that. And we've gotten really good results. This, however, is brand new. It's made from a company called Ghost Stop, and it's called the Rook. And the reason why it's a little bit different is that it does not interfere with any infrared or night vision cameras. Sometimes the other ones, basically what it does is it starts with like yellow, goes up to orange and then red. And sometimes those lights can affect your cameras that you're also using. So this won't do that. Whenever you first turn it on, it lights up and it also makes noise. So whenever you get closer, it will either stop. I don't know what's right above me, but you can hear the difference. And then whenever you get closer to something, the lights will really light up. Or completely stop. So you know if there's something that is making it go off, that there's something manipulating it in some sort of way. I really like to use these because whenever some people will say that they're feeling sick or having problems, EMF fields can really play with your body. I've had people explain to me that they get headaches really bad, they just feel depressed or sad, just don't feel like themselves, or like feel like somebody's watching them, or very oppressive. It could be because of the high EMF fields that your body's being surrounded by. So I typically like to do a sweep with this as well. I'll take this and the thermometer around and do a sweep of the room before we start. That way we know if there are any energy sources, we can just rule those out right away. So the next thing that I'm going to show you, I can pretty much say is my husband's favorite piece of equipment, and it is a night vision monocular. So basically what happens is you look through it, and with just one eye, obviously, it's not a binocular, it's a monocular. It will allow the area to turn into night vision, basically. and there's an IR light button on it. So you hit the IR light and it pretty much just brightens up anything that you can see. So if you don't have a camera that has night vision, you could still look through one of these and see stuff that you normally wouldn't. The next thing that I use is a laser grid. This might be dying, but you can see it makes a pattern on my hand. And I'm going to give you an example of this so that you can see the way that it works. Basically what happens is there's different settings on here too. I'll show you those in the video where it's dark, where you can actually see. But it puts a laser grid out. So in case anything should pass by any of the lasers, you'd be able to see a disruption in the pattern. The best way to use these is if you can set it up on a tripod and just have them sitting like in a room by themselves with a camera on them. That way you can see if there was anything that was happening. So you can see what my hand looks like whenever it's through the grid. And it goes through different patterns. Let's see if we can make it. So depending on how big the area is, you can change it. The last thing that I'm going to show you is actually a new light that I just got. This is made by a company called Creepy Hollow. This is also another purchase that we got from Ghost Stop. So basically what this does is if you do not have a camera that is night vision capable, you just hook this onto the little hot shoe mount on your camera. And this actually has a dual feature. So 2 of the lights, I believe, are infrared. Oh, 4 of the lights are infrared. Infrared light is completely invisible to the naked eye, but whenever you put it on the camera, it does allow you to see. And the bottom light, I'm not going to show you directly, but it does glow blue and green. That's full spectrum, so it allows you to flood the area with light that will allow you to basically see as if it was a night vision camera. And I'll give you an example of this. This is really great because right now we don't have a night vision camera. That's something that is on my wish list, but in the meantime, I could just use my regular DSLR and hook this on there and really see some great stuff. I'll do an indoor sample. So this is looking down our steps into the basement. And this is with the full spectrum light. And with the infrared. And that will lead me to, I would probably say, the most obvious thing is my camera. I do rely on my camera, whether it be my DSLR camera, my camera on my phone, anything really that has a good flash where you could take 3 pictures in a row will work. You could get really good results. The reason why they say to take 3 pictures in a row is because you can compare the 3 and see a difference. So say for instance, you take a picture, you don't see anything, there's something in the second picture and then it's not in the third. Well, if you're taking a picture of an area 3 times in a row, if there's something there, you're gonna be able to see it. And say, okay, well that wasn't in this picture and it wasn't in this picture, so that has to be something. And just picking up on things in general. You can see some things on camera that you might not have picked up. They also have the built-in feature of having a microphone, so that's included. So you might be recording and you don't hear anything, and it's just like an EVP recorder also. And whenever there's something visual that you can see, that's even more amazing. So yeah, that is pretty much all the stuff that I use. Some other non-conventional items that I use are crystals. I always carry crystals with me. This is my amethyst. I use them to protect me anytime that I am on an investigation. I have a couple different ones. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I usually just carry them in my pocket as little protectors, and some stones are also known to help you connect to the spiritual world even more. So amethyst is one of those. I always carry one of those. So kind of alongside my crystals that I use, I am actually currently wearing a necklace that on one side it just looks like gems, but on the other side is actually Archangel Michael. And I mean, this is depending on your beliefs, but I always say a little protection prayer before I start my investigations to make sure that we aren't welcoming anything negative. I am very respectful to the spirits, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to them or cause any kind of issues that would make it seem like we're being harmful, because I have enough stuff that follows me around. I don't need the bad things to come with me, and I've already gotten rid of all the bad stuff in the house, and I'd like to keep it that way. The last thing that I'm gonna talk about is something that I have found to be the most reliable whenever it comes to any sort of equipment, and that of course is myself. So I am a self-proclaimed sensitive. I'm pretty sure I have something going on that allows me to sense the spirits that are around me, and I also feel like I am an empath. So sometimes I go into locations and I can pick up on energies right away and or feelings of spirits in the area. And I can never doubt my own gut feeling. So it doesn't matter where we are, if I am able to pick up on something. I think that's the most solid evidence that I can get, is just the way that something makes me feel. And I can discount anything else that it might be that could be causing any sort of feelings. So I always know that I can trust myself. I've had so many experiences up until this point that I know what is spirit and I know what is something else that might be affecting me. So I definitely feel like you and your body are, and your gut instinct are number one, and to always trust them, because usually they're right. Who truly knows about the paranormal? And I think that's what is so interesting, is that although we have all of this evidence and we have ways of communicating, you don't know for sure what really happens after we die. And I think that's really what all of this is about. So it's just an ongoing thing. And not only that, but there are constantly new technologies being developed that will allow us to communicate with the paranormal. So it's just so interesting to me. I love meeting other people and hearing their ideas. So I thought it was great that April and I were able to do a collaboration, so I can get not only her opinion on some of the things that she uses, but her experiences as well and what she feels about the paranormal field. So yeah, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please go check out April's channel if you haven't already. Subscribe, and if you're also interested in the paranormal or anything Halloween related, you can subscribe to my channel as well. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic night and stay spooky. Bye.